Old Faithful, Starbucks. I was just here with Chuck yesterday. What's going on, Soy Dog Cowboy, and anybody else who's watching? Good morning. Another day in faux paradise. Yeah, I didn't stream. Once we left there, I didn't stream. I didn't know we were going to come here, but Chucky wanted to get on the boat. He had never taken the canal boat taxi. So I said, okay, I'll take you. I said, well, I'll have to take you sometime. And he said, how about right now? I love those air fryers, man. They're great. They're really good. I think that's our most used piece of, that's our most used appliance, pretty much, in the house. We use that thing every day. But he wanted to take the boat. I didn't know he wanted to go like, oh, well, how about right now? I said, well, okay. So we went over to the pier. We got a taxi and went over to the pier. I took him. We ended up here at the mall. And then we came in, we sat here for a while, and he's like, oh, I don't want a coffee yet because I've been drinking too much coffee. And then it was, well, I think I'll have a coffee. And then we went and had some food. So we had a nice day yesterday. It was good catching up with him. There are always people coming in here, but I've been thinking about it a little bit, and it definitely does seem that there's been a turn in the way things are being dealt with now. And I said it last year. I said I thought by April things would be better. By no later than the middle of the year. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'd say this year things should progress. By the end of the year, you should see a big change. And it really depends on what the government decides to do, but a lot of people are anxiously awaiting. Andy, Mr. IG, what's happening? Good morning. This is Espresso in the Morning. Today we've got the barista beer and also Preo making up the coffee. And there are two other people in the place right now, but still very quiet, and I like it that way. My house is not quiet. Both the kids are in school, online, and the wife is working. I got to get out of here. So where do I go? Because I don't feel like going halfway across town again. Old Faithful, Starbucks. Yesterday I was talking about the weed and how the weed's supposed to be, the entire plant is supposed to be legalized. And that alone could at least help Thailand quite a bit. And listen, they're going to get tourists because of that if they start allowing weed to be smoked in like coffee shops or whatever. I don't see them, letting people just walk around smoking joints or anything like that. But, or selling cartons of whatever type of weed it is in like vending machines and anybody can get them. I don't see anything like that happening. I don't think it's going to be that extreme, but I do think it could help the tourism industry. And not only that, even if there's not as many tourists, the amount of tax revenue that they can earn is probably going to make up for it. So, I mean, I'm all for it, and I'm not into the whole herb thing or anything like that. I've smoked it, but that doesn't mean I want to do it now. The edibles, that's a little different story. I don't know if they would do that, but, I've been thinking about it a lot. I'm like, I think that's much better than a casino or casinos here. You know, people have a real problem with gambling. There are some people that have a real problem with it, and in Thailand it is a problem. And if anything, weed is probably not going to put people, it's not going to make people lose their house because they gambled it all away. You know, I mean, there is a difference. Well, there you go. That's another reason why some people don't want to come here, because they can never get a straight answer. You know, really, that is that one word, uncertainty, and the unevenness of the ways that the different consulates and embassies apply their rules. I think that's a big thing for people. I mean, a lot of people are like, what the hell? I don't know, you know, I'm not sure which way is up. You go to some of these other places, these other embassies for these other countries, they got their shit together, man. You don't need to go through any of that bullshit. I know people that are moving to other countries. They've never lived in Thailand, and they're moving to, like I said, Ecuador, Portugal. Where's that other place the guy's moving? There's one other place. I don't know the guy real well, but of course, Mexico. And these places tend to have their shit together, you know. They don't have any of this last minute stuff. You know, you call one place and you get, well, you're gonna need this much, and you call another place, no, you're gonna need that much, and you call another place and everybody's giving you a different amount. That does not bode well for people who wanna come here. And people with money truly have a lot of money. They don't need that shit. They don't want to have to deal with that. And I'm sure if they have assistants and co-workers or people that work for them doing all the looking around, they're smart enough to take it into consideration. And so I think Thailand has to be very careful about how they proceed in the next year or two. They've already went through it, and the one thing that you can say about Thailand is that compared to some other places, relatively few people have died and many tourists have come into the country, whereas in some countries, no tourists have gone in, or very few, like in Vietnam. So, you know, there's a lot for them to, I think they seem to do a good job when pressed at the end, but there's always that concern that things are going to flip-flop. And I read comments from people, and I get comments from people and emails and stuff where people are saying, you know what, I just can't deal with this. I just don't want to have to worry about, are they going to change their minds, and then my whole retirement is not going to be able to take place just because at the last minute they change things up. Even, listen, I always bring them up, but like Jono planned for such a long time, and then he came here, and it wasn't exactly what he thought it would be, but you know, he had an idea. But then when the pandemic hit, you know, it just got really crazy, and he's like, wow. But I will say that most people have said it's better here than, say, back in the US, and it's been better here. And so even for him, who had to deal with some uncertainty, and now he's been here for, I don't even know now, 2.5 years or something. You know, he don't give a shit about nothing, man. He's good to go. He's got his place. He's got everything, you know, set up for him. He's good to go. I have not heard anything about marriage certificate, marriage visas, O visas being changed where they're gonna raise the price or anything like that. I haven't heard any of that. And I still don't think that you're gonna need to put in 3 million baht and 100,000 a month. I think if that's the case, you go to the embassy in Washington. Well, they do have the 60-day visa and then 30-day extension. So I think, you know, I don't know. I don't know I look back at when I was working in the United States and then traveling. How many places did I stay for more than 3 months or even 2 months? I stayed some places for 6 weeks. I stayed for a couple places for 4 weeks. A lot of places for a week or two. How many people really need to stay for 3 months or 6 months? And I think what that does is it opens things up for people who want to live here, and in the minds of the Thais, well, if you're going to live here, why don't you get a retirement visa or some other kind of visa that's more appropriate than, say, a tourist visa. And maybe they need to put something on the books that will be more specific to that, aside from a tourist visa. Are you really a tourist if you come over here for 6 months and live here for 6 months? I don't know. I mean, not really. You kind of live here. But does that mean you shouldn't be able to stay here on a tourist visa? I mean, oh, it's going to be harder to get a bank account. I was talking to Chuck, and I'm like, Chuck, you're here on a tourist visa. You should be able to get a bank account somewhere. You know, I've had my bank accounts for so long. I don't want to open another one. And thank you.คุณแก็บเหรอไปช้อปปิ้งครับ Wow. I forgot my card when I paid for my coffee. And I said, "What'd you do? You took it already and ran around and went shopping?" She goes, "I spent it all in one day." Probably would. Anyway, first of all, yeah, I think that it's going to be, I don't care what anybody says. They may fight about mandatory vaccines while you're in the country, but if you're outside of the country coming into a country, I think every country is going to say, if you're not vaccinated, you're going to have to quarantine. Otherwise, show your proof of vaccination. And then at some point, yeah, they may make the booster mandatory. 90 days, no visa required. Well, it's 30 days and 30 days right now. And when you think about it, for somebody who doesn't have a visa, isn't 60 days really enough? I don't know, you know. I mean, 90-day no visa required. Then you would think they're going to say, 90 more for a fee. There's going to be an extension. So that's 180 days. That's 6 months. You go to India, you got to get a visa. It's only good for 6 months. You get to stay in the country for 6 months. I don't see that that's a real problem. You know, if you're coming in and back and forth, going back and forth, and that's all you do, well, then maybe there's something else you can figure out. I don't know, but that's the average person who's a tourist is probably not coming here and staying really for more than even 2 or 3 months. And I think that's what they're trying to get away from. They don't want the backpackers who are staying for $400 or $500 a month, and you know, they're staying for a year or two. You know, I think that's what they're trying to get away from. And I don't know that I blame them, quite honestly. I mean, they want to be a prosperous country. I don't know, how long can you stay? Let's see. Let's see here. To enter, you do not need, okay, so in Singapore, you do not need a visa for tourist or business visa visits up to 90 days. I think that's good. I don't know how, you know, and then maybe they extend for 1 month. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but, you know, I guess 90 days is not that bad, you know. I think when you start getting to 180 days, you start getting to a year, people can extend and extend and extend. I understand where they're coming from. And in the very beginning, that's what I did. I went on tourist visas. I had a 1-year tourist visa. No, not necessarily. You can get a visa here and for 60 days and then extend for 30 days. And then normally you'll be able to extend again. But in this case, nowadays, you may be able to extend it again. In the old days, it'd be like you have to leave the country. Now, if you have a multiple entry, you're allowed to stay for up to 6 months with the extensions. I don't know that Malaysia has the same problem with backpackers wanting to stay forever. I don't know. Maybe, but I haven't seen it. The times that I've been to Malaysia and what I know about Malaysia, it's not the same as Thailand, and that's where the difference ends. I mean, if you're gonna stay for 6 months and you actually sort of cowboy, before Longhorns. I don't know how he's going to do it when he comes back because he'll be a little bit older and maybe he'll be closer to retirement age. You can get a retirement visa, but if you have to, you go out of the country, you stay out for a bit, and then you come back in. But right now it's a little more difficult, obviously. But I think they're in a position where think of Thailand as a business, and if it was your business, would you want people who are going to manipulate the system? And remember the one guy who he actually got pissed at the government because they told him, hey, listen, buddy, you're staying here for years at a time, or he'd been here a year, and they're like, you cannot continue to come in on tourist visas. You can't keep extending and then going out of the country for a day and then coming back. You can't keep doing that. You need to get a proper visa. And he's like, oh yeah, but they don't give a fuck about it. They care about, do you have the visa that matches up how you're living? And so in the end of the day, he didn't want to get a retirement visa. And guess what? As far as I know, he's not back in Thailand, but he had to leave. Well, listen, the visa run thing, I always tell that story about the girl I met in Kanchanaburi working at a guest house. She's getting room and board for working a couple of hours a day at the guest house. She's probably working half a day where people would come in, and they don't do it anymore. The last time I went to the place, they're not doing that anymore. This is several years ago. This had to be, 10, 15 years ago. And the girl was getting room and board for working 4 hours a day at the guest house, just helping out, And she was complaining about having to spend like $50 to go do a visa run. And then, when she found out that I had the big room, which was like 350 baht. It was like, 10, 12 bucks a night. She was like, oh my God, I really got the impression that she was like, oh my God, you're staying in the mansion. She was staying in one of the little, $4 a night places, little tiny rooms. And I don't think that that's what Thailand wants. And she had been here for like a year and she was doing visa runs, going, coming, She was living off of $400 or $500 a month. I don't think that's what they need or want. I don't know how much tourism she was really doing, The few cheaters spoil it for the genuine, overstays, etc. Yeah, you gotta try to walk the fine line between being a tourist and being the government. I don't think that the Thai government, perhaps they haven't worded things the right way. In fact, they probably should never talk about money when it comes to tourists, aside from within their organization. How much of a tourist spending, or if they're interviewed or whatever, if it comes out for some reason in the news, they should be, okay, we'll tell the truth. But thinking that they're going to get these high-end, filthy rich tourists and expats, and going from like backpackers. I understand you're trying to get rid of some of the backpackers, and not all the backpackers, not all backpackers are cheap, and we're trying to live off of $3 a day or $10 a day or whatever it is. But think about it. That was the reputation for Thailand for a long time. They're starting to do away with that. They're trying to modernize. In some ways, I understand. In other ways, I think there's been a few slip-ups in the way that the news has presented the information, whether it's straight from the horse's mouth or not. It doesn't look good. However, I did see that in Phuket they're talking about how the tourists are refusing to wear masks, and it's starting to be a problem. They don't want to wear the mask outside. And they think that the people don't know. The people know. People come in, they know they got to wear a mask. They know it's mandatory. But they don't want to wear it. And I understand, who the hell wants to wear a mask when you're out on an island beach? When I was on Riley, everybody, it was still mandatory, but nobody was wearing masks there on the beach. Man. Violators will be arrested and prosecuted. That's the way to entice tourists. Communicable Diseases Act allows for a penalty of up to 20,000 baht, 1 year in jail, while the emergency decree can be sentenced for up to 2 years in jail and up to 40,000 baht fine. Majority only receive a slap on the wrist or a few push-ups. I think people are just sick and tired. I think people are sick and tired of this whole ordeal. Anyway, listen, thank you everybody for joining me, and thank you for watching yesterday with me and Chucky. Appreciate that. Appreciate all the support. If you like this video and the channel, please remember to leave a thumbs up and subscribe. You can take a look down in the description, see all the other ways to help support the channel. Another day in paradise, yeah. That's what today is. It is a beautiful, beautiful day. It was about 74 degrees when I came over here. And not humid at all. A little bit of wind, like 2 miles an hour, and it's about as good of a day in the city as you're gonna get. Can U.S. citizens get an extended stay visa for up to a year to visit Singapore? I'm gonna say yes. Come on. You gotta sign in to get the answer. Not much I can do about that, John, I know it sounds a bit flippant and apathetic, but I just, as time goes by, I care about less and less things. I just don't care about them. I mean, hey, I was just saying, I just talked to the lady that used to have a little chicken stall. They're opening a coffee shop near my house, this little coffee shop, and I think it opens tomorrow. I saw the chicken lady. You know, hello, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. And then we got on the subject of, you know, I wonder if things are going to clear up this year. And she's like, it's just like getting a cold. She's like, even I'm not worried about it. You know, she's an older woman. She's about 50. She's like, I'm not even worried about it. She's like, everybody's so worried about it. And I said, yeah, well, you know what's going to happen is next year there's going to be elections. Let's see what happens after the elections. And I think, you know, there's little stages. Let's see what happens in the next week. Let's see what happens in the next month. Let's see what happens at the end of the year. And then the elections are going to come. And the only thing I really care about is that things don't spiral out of control. If somebody wins and they think it's fake and people start going nuts and there's violence, that's not good. I'm not even talking about tourism. It's not good for me. They shut down parts of the city, and it's, you know, you never know when it can come to your neighborhood too. So I'm not worried really about in my village, but I'm just like, if they start, you know, you don't know what these people will do. People can get pissed off and you don't know what they're going to do. And I've heard it from several people, and I've said it before, that everything seems cool. Everything's fine. You may not have any warning signs. You think everything is, you know, okay, it'll be all right. It could never happen. And then guess what? It happens. On the spur of the moment, things change. Somebody gets shot and people get pissed off and they get more angry. And then before you know it, there are, you know, 1 million people on the streets. Yeah, I mean, I at this point, I don't even listen. All I care about is Anthony Fauci gone? I don't care about anything else. All I care about is, have the mandates stop? Are people going to be allowed to do this and to go in and go there? And half the time, I don't even know because I can't keep up with all this shit. My wife asked me, if I go to America, do I have to quarantine? I'm like, I don't think so because you are vaccinated. But I don't know. I'm not sure, you know. And she was like, well, if anything, I should probably, if we were to go to America, we should probably quarantine for 2 weeks just so that we don't go where your parents are and, you know, stay with your parents and get them sick in case we're sick because they're older, you know, all this shit. And then it's like, oh, go ahead, support the Olympics. No, what are you going to support the Olympics for? Forget the Olympics. Forget China. They're the bastards who put us in this position. Or at least partially. They got something to do with it. You know they got their fingers in the pie somehow. Listen, I've been sitting here. In fact, yesterday, Chuck and I were sitting here. A girl walks in. She's looking for her friends who she walked up to. They're all like business women. They're all dressed very nicely. And, you know, you could tell the girl was put together well. And I mean, she was well taken care of. Whatever she was doing. She had some job, right? She's got 2 masks on. And she's like, got her drink. And she's drinking the drink from the side of the mask. And I'm going, Jesus fucking Christ, man. You know, I mean, right when I complain about somebody who's like completely healthy will get sick or something and prove me wrong, I don't know. But I think the point is that at this point, it's just time to open up, let things happen. And while I always, you know, I always laugh about this place being called paradise, because paradise paradise or utopia denotes that the state of being in the place where you is always perfect or ideal. And that is not what it is. And I hate to, fall back on the semantics of it all, but just by definition, it's very difficult for any place to remain a paradise forever. And if you look at Thailand, one of the problems that they've had, and now I believe it's gotten better in many places because of the pandemic. Pandemic has provided a respite for many things. There's not as many people coming into the country trashing the beaches and the oceans and stuff like that. So in that sense, it's good. But, what happens when the people come back? What are they going to do? It's like saying, to some guy who he's living in a shack and he has no food, no money, no skills, he doesn't know what to do. And you go, listen, here's $500. This should be enough for you to eat for 3 months. Okay, that's great, but what's he going to do after the 3 months? He's right back in the same position. And, you don't want that here. Yeah, I don't care. I don't really care about the Olympics anymore. It would be nice to have an Olympics where everybody was getting along and, all parts of the world, and nobody was pissed off at each other. But, the reality is there's a lot of screwed up stuff going on. And we know that now. Mainly or partially because of the internet. And what are you going to do? Really, what are you going to do? In my own way, I don't like China for a number of reasons. And I don't necessarily mean Chinese people, I just mean the government. I don't particularly like it. So my way is, I try to buy as few Chinese-made products as possible, which is not easy. I try not to eat Chinese food. I do what I can. But I sure in the hell don't want to think about the Beijing Olympics. And everybody's so scared. If you boycott the Olympics, we're going to make you pay for it. Oh, fuck you. Russia-Ukraine war. Well, I think if they were going to have a war, they would have had it a couple of years ago. I don't think the Ukraine has a chance in hell of doing anything against Russia. I do wish I would have went, because I did think about it, but I just thought my hip was too bad. But who knows? You never know what's going to happen. You don't know if you're going to make it out of there. Ugh. I need my espresso. Espresso in the morning. This music is horrible. I don't even know who it is, but it's horrible. Now, coffee, I give the edge to La Mesa. Food, I give the edge to La Mesa from yesterday. Ambiance, sorry, edge to La Mesa. Value, edge to La Mesa. Yeah, Andy, I don't see them going to war. There may be little battles here and there, sporadic fighting, but I don't see a full-fledged war going on. And quite frankly, Putin don't give a shit. He knows Biden isn't going to do anything. What's Biden going to do? Biden isn't going to do shit. Biden can barely put his pants on. How's he going to? What's he going to do against Russia? Really? And that's why, listen, if you move over here, if you truly want to get away, why are you moving to Thailand or Portugal, or any of these places. Why are you moving if all you want to know about is back home? Why don't you just stay back home? Most of the guys I know that come over here and stay here or are moving here, especially if they're coming here and staying for a few months and going back, they don't want to be back in the U.S. They'd rather be here, you know. So what the hell do you care about America so much for? I mean, you know, not to beat a dead horse. I do understand that there's some reasons, but I mean, I have not been following what Biden is doing. I don't care what he's doing. I don't want to know what he's doing. I don't care about Biden. I don't care about Trump. I don't give a shit about any of them. All I care about is my own little bubble here. You know? Is the world okay? Or are we all gonna die? We're all gonna die eventually. But that, you know what I mean? What's important? You know, it's not important if Biden reports, you know, people inside the Biden camp report he's been hospitalized for constipation. Do I really give a shit about that? Like I always say, do I really care about Kim Kardashian's big ass? No, I don't. I don't care. Why should we care? Please tell me that. Enlighten me. What reasons are there for us caring about her big ass or Biden or Trump or whoever? If you live here, why do you have to care about it? Financial reasons, okay. Familial reasons, okay. I can get that. Other than that, I really did like the cafe yesterday. Hopefully I can put together a video. I do believe I will be able to put something together on that, little 5-minute clip or something. But man, that was... You want to go somewhere, you're not going to go to Nong Jok, you're not going to go all the way out there, go to La Mesa. You just jump on the SkyTrain, man. I'm telling you that cheesecake was the best cheesecake I ever had. Carlos, if you're listening, go to Sukhumvit Soy 68, go to La Mesa Coffee Company, and ask for the caramel cheesecake. The bomb. Absolutely the bomb. Yeah, Nancy Pelosi, one of my favorites. Her, Maxine Waters, well, you know, AOC, who, she ought to be run out of politics. They all ought to be run out of politics. You know, get them out of here. But, you know, then again, what do I know? All right, let's see if there's anything worthwhile in the news here. Whoa, what is this? Oh yeah, Thai nationals spared new 300 baht arrival tax coming in April. It will not affect Thai nationals returning from overseas. However, he confirmed that the tax would be collected from all foreign tourists at every port of entry. Well, then why would they charge an expat? That's not a tourist. Let me see here. Bullshit. Half of the 300 baht payment will go to a tourism promotion fund, while 20% will be help fund. That's what it says. 20% will be help fund insurance cover for up to 45 days of each visitor's stay in Thailand. This is the nation, Thailand. The remainder will be set aside for administration costs. I'm sorry. Something smells rotten in Denmark. Let's see what else it says here. So let me get this straight here. 150 baht goes to tourism promotion. while 20%, which is 60 baht, goes to help fund insurance coverage for up to 45 days of each visitor's stay in Thailand. Even though you got insurance to get into the country right now. So that's 210 baht. Now 30% will be set aside for administration costs. What about improving the tourism venues like they originally said? He expects the arrival tax to be collected from April 1st. The plan has been approved by the National Tourism Board and will be finalized by the Tourism Promotion Fund Committee before being submitted to the Cabinet for approval. The minister predicts tax revenue of about 1.5 billion baht from some 5 million foreign tourists entering Thailand between April 1st and September 30th, when the current fiscal year ends. Tourism and Sports Ministry proposed the arrival tax after a painstaking study. Including consultations with stakeholders in the tourism sector. It's not the money. Just remember that. It's not the money. The money is peanuts. Nobody will know a year from now. It's going to be incorporated in a ticket. Nobody's going to know anything, but we'll know. And I just want to see how it helps. I hope it does. Bye. You want to say goodbye? Goodbye. Bye now. Bye now. Bye now. Okay. There you go. So anyway, there's that. 300 baht. It's not much money. It's peanuts, quite honestly. But it's not the money. But like I said, in a year from now, 6 months from now, nobody's going to even know. Once the money's put into the ticket, like a lot of people don't even know that there's still a departure tax here. Somebody wrote me and said, they wrote that, there used to be a departure tax. I'm like, there used to be? No, there's still a departure tax. It was 500 baht back in the day. No, it hasn't been 500 baht for 15 years. It's 700 baht. And it's incorporated into the ticket. And I hate to say it, but that's what it is. It's all about the money. It's all about the money. Speaking of which, I don't have my shirt on, one of my shirts on, but don't forget to check out the link below for the shop and get yourself a t-shirt. Pick up a t-shirt. Send me a picture with it. A lot of places charge departure tax, and some places even charge entry tax. I don't have a problem with it, really. I think, and this is not really for us to say, what they do with their money is not our business. You know what I mean? Like, listen, if they're going to charge an entry fee and they say it's going towards insurance, well, then you would expect that when you come in, you have that insurance coverage. I'm still wondering how it is that if you're required as an expat to have $100,000 insurance, and if you're required to have $50,000 as a tourist, how are they going to help you? Besides maybe giving you giving somebody $1 million baht if you die. Your next of kin. How are they going to help you? You're supposed to have insurance. Are they going to get rid of the insurance? I want to know about that. Anyway, it's immaterial. It doesn't matter. There's that uncertainty. Nobody knows. Let's see here. Well, I don't know if it's good or not, but I did read somewhere today that the government is going to fix the chicken prices here because the rising pork prices. They don't want that happening with the chicken, and so they're going to fix the price. I don't even know what it is a kilo or anything, but what I can say is it's about damn time. If they're going to do something, I mean, listen, prices are going to be what they're going to be most of the time, but when a price goes from 86 baht to 116 baht, which is, I don't know, I'm just going to say $2.50, $2.65, and it goes up 30%, 35%, that's a lot. The biggest news, and I don't know if you good people, I'm speaking to the 80%, know about this, but they have been talking about doing away with the current method of entry and going back to the test and go. They haven't approved it yet or anything, but let's see. Had the test and go scheme not been suspended, the tourism industry could have welcomed 100,000 to 200,000 foreign tourists in January alone. Apparently, that's what the chairman of the Thai Chamber of Commerce has said. Since December 22nd, there has only been about 20,000 foreign tourists entering the country under the sandbox scheme. We have missed out on 80 to 180,000 tourists due to the test and go suspension. Here we go again. Statistics show that each foreign visitor spends 50,000 baht per trip in Thailand on average, so that's missing an income of 4 billion to 9 billion baht for the tourism industry. Where is it, though? They said the government must resume test and go scheme as soon as possible by adjusting the criteria to suit the situation. For example, an extra requirement of the RT-PCR test could be needed 5 days before entering Thailand, in addition to the current requirement of 3 days before arrival. Yeah, they're lowering the risk from 4 to 3. I don't know when that takes place. But this is just, I mean, it's like, okay, so let's go to the test and go. But you know what? We're going to add another test. I think you're wrong there, Sabaidi. I hate to tell you this because the younger generation of Thailand, and I'm talking about the generation like my kids and a few years older, those are the ones who are implementing a lot of the change right now. It's not the old coots that are in power and that run these major corporations. They're not the ones who are, they got their thumbs up their asses, in my opinion. It's the younger people. They are, granted, they may not have the same education as elsewhere. However, many Thais are studying abroad now. Studying in international schools and that kind of thing. And I think it's starting to make a bit of a difference. But, when you got the old guys in power and they're the ones who are making the major decisions, it's very difficult to implement change. But there has been some. Critical thinking has always been a weak point here. China is safe in terms of natural disaster. Well, flooding. Okay, I guess tsunami is a flood. There's also earthquakes here. There are several things, but I get what you're saying, and I agree generally. As far as innovation, generally, yeah, I would agree with you. However, they're good at taking things like, listen, they're good at doing things. Look at the infrastructure now. It has gotten progressively better and better over the years to where a lot of these things, you don't have this stuff in the United States. I was saying to Chuck, I go, Chuck, because I don't remember what somebody answered the other day or yesterday or day before yesterday, but I was saying, what about QR codes in the United States? Are they using those? Can you get in a taxi and just use a QR code and pay? Do you have to use, a payment by, like WhatsApp or something like that? Or can you just use the QR code? When you go to the grocery, can you pay by QR code? I mean, really, it is changing things here. So when you talk about innovation, they're not as innovative here as in Japan or like Hong Kong. But look at the United States. Look at their train system. It's shit. Generally, it's shit compared to what they got here. I mean, okay, the trains that are going they're old here. But I'd say the infrastructure is increasingly improving here. And, I don't know what they're the most innovative. They're not, making things and coming up with new ideas and things like that. But they do take what's already available and they make good use of it. And the one thing, and listen, I'm very impressed by what they're doing here. And you can't really tell unless you're looking all the time. And I am always looking at the state of the SkyTrain and the subway. And man, I mean, when they get some of these lines completed, and it's a year or two, you're talking about a year or two, this year, next year. When they get them completed, man, people are tourists who are in Bangkok, they're going to be able to get around. They're not going to be needing as many taxis. I mean, I was surprised because the place we went yesterday, that place was about 45 minutes away from my house because of traffic. 30 minutes away, we took the boat and it was about 30 minutes away. You take the SkyTrain, it's going to take 20 minutes. That's it. It's going to take 20, even if it takes 30 minutes, it's going to be much more comfortable. And so I think there's a lot of things that Thailand is doing right. I think it's just that, listen, and I'm one of them. I look at this system and I live here, so what can be better? It's the same thing in the United States. If I lived in the United States, I'd be doing it in the United States. What can be better? How come they're not doing this? One thing that I think they really need to do here, and I think it would improve things drastically, and I'm a big advocate of having cash. I think cash is very important. You need to have cash. And I don't carry a lot of it anymore. And the reason is because it's so easy to pay without using cash. You don't even need an ATM card to take money from your ATM. From the ATM. You don't even need it anymore. Do they do that in the United States? Do they do that in Australia or the UK? I'm just curious. I don't know if they do. I don't believe there's no volcanoes here. I haven't heard of any that are active. No. But I mean, like that's. It's like you're in a taxi and you go, oh shit, I don't have any cash. Oh, you guys got a QR code here. How much? 150. Okay, boom. You just, And Chuck was asking me yesterday, how do I get my Line account to where I can pay, or how do I use it? I go, Chuck, I thought you'd been using Line. He goes, no, I was using Uber before. I'm like, well, it's they were bought out by Grab, but yeah, you got to have a Thai account. He doesn't have a Thai account yet. I'm like, well, you're going to need to get one. You probably need to get one if you're going to be over here again and you're going to move here part-time. You probably can use one. There are reasons to have them, but what I was going to say is, I look at Hong Kong and their octopus cart. I was impressed by that. I would go down to the dim sum shop. They're selling dim sum and a bunch of other stuff. I'd say, okay, give me $10 Hong Kong of the dim sum or whatever, a little bowl of them. It'd be, I don't know, 8 pieces or whatever it was. Just give them my card. Take my Octopus card. And I'm sure that they had it to where you could use the Octopus online. They had an app. So imagine if you're in Thailand and you go into a bar, and assuming that you don't have any reason to hide anything, you know, you go into a bar and you go, all right, here, let me make my payment, let me pay for the bill, and you give them a card or you scan, you know, you just scan their QR code, boom, paid. You come to Starbucks, boom. They do it in Starbucks now, you can scan the QR code. I was surprised. I think that would, and then you legalize the weed here, this place is gonna change. You know, even me, Chuck and I were talking yesterday, and it was like, you know, listen, there's part of me, I don't know if I wanna leave this place. I haven't liked the trend of how things are going in the government, but you know, when you look at it overall, it's one of the best places. It takes money no matter where you are, so it is one of the best places in the world. They say number 11, and I think that's probably appropriate. So I'm curious to know, but like, I'm very curious to know, do they have these QR codes and whatnot in the UK or Australia or the United States? And then what would really make things better, and they've already started to do it, where now, right, you know, you can go online and transfer, make an international transfer through the bank. Now you have to pay the bank fees, which, you know, or get somebody, the receiver or whatever, to pay the bank fees. But if it's you're going to end up paying one way or the other. So it almost would benefit the banks if they figure out how to do it online where there are no fees. And sometimes they will say, oh, no fee. But they're doing that to entice you to come in, and then they will charge a fee. And maybe your bank charges a fee. So that's why, like, a company like TransferWise or D-Money or whatever, those are good because the fees are very low and they give you the going rate. But I think those are two things. I think the weed and some kind of a card that reaches across all platforms. You come into the mall, you see, they have a mall card. And then you go into the grocery. You can pay with a QR code. You can pay with a credit card. You can pay with a debit card. I mean, you pay with damn near anything. You can't pay with Bitcoin. You know, if you have one card, like if you go in and you're going to pay with Siam Commercial, you automatically get your M points, which gives you a discount on, when you hit a certain amount of points, you get a discount on whatever you're buying in the mall. And I don't know that, to be honest, it's like you have to use the Siam Commercial. Hey, what's your shirt say? Another bad girl, something about being a bad girl on her shirt, I don't know. I think that would make a big difference here. And I think when people come here and they see it, they go, oh, you know, I can pay for the train with my card. I just get a card, and you know what? You register it online. You register on online. You register the card, and if you lose the card, you get your money back. Or you scan the card into your phone, and you've got it on your phone in their app, and so then you can never lose it. It's put into the system. You know, and I know some people would say, oh, I'm worried about them taking my information, all that bullshit. They got your information already. What would an adequate tip over there? 20 for what? A tip for what? It depends on what it is. There are places that no tip is necessary. For instance, in a taxi, you don't have to be tipping. You know, you can round up and tip up, but other than that, you don't really need to tip unless the guy's really helpful. I mean, you know. I mean, but I'll give you an example. If I go on and I take a motorbike to come here, it's 30 baht. I always give them 30 baht. Just give them 30. I pay them before I even leave because I don't want to. Sometimes I get new guys. I don't want any shit. It's 30 baht. And once in a while I get a guy. No, it's 40. I'm like, listen, I take it every day. It's 30 baht. The price hasn't gone up. It's 30 baht. You don't want to take me? Fine. Oh, okay. Because they're trying to jip me out of the extra 10 baht. Okay, give him the 30 baht. But if it's somebody that I like, a guy who's cool, he's, friendly or whatever. Sometimes you get these guys in there like they won't say a word to you. You say hello, how are you, and they just ignore you. And I won't tip them. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not gonna tip him. I'm speaking Thai to the guy. He speaks my language. Just doesn't want to talk to me. Okay, fine. And sometimes they're in a bad mood or whatever. I understand. But if they do it all the time, then it's like I'm not tipping the guy. But once in a while, I'll go out and I go, here you go. Here's an extra 10 baht. That's a 25% bump, right? I mean, I don't have to give him a tip. You don't have to give him a tip. My wife doesn't ever do that, ever. I do it to keep myself in good graces, which maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. If you're in a taxi and it's 53 baht, you can give the guy 60 baht and let him have the 7 baht. You can give him 55 baht and let him have the 2 baht. You can do it that way. But you don't need, if it's 53 baht, you don't need to give him 100 baht and just give him 47 baht tip, unless he's went out of his way for you and done something for you. Like you're looking for a place, you don't know where the place is, you don't have the address, and the guy's going around and asking the locals which way to take you. Where is this place at? Do they know about it? And it takes him an extra 20 minutes because he's standing there talking to somebody. Okay, then you give him a halfway decent tip. You give him an extra 100 baht, you give him 43 baht or whatever, 47 baht, do whatever, that's fine. In a cafe, sometimes they charge you a service charge, they add the 10% to the bill right away. So then it's generally, whatever, it depends on how much it is. If it's 143 baht, and that's including the service charge, you can give them 150 baht and let them just keep the change. Grab drivers, yeah, I mean, again, I don't generally have a problem with Grab drivers, so most of the time my Grab fares are anywhere from about 130 to generally not more than about 240 or 250. And I'll give them 10 baht, 20 baht. Sometimes I'll give them 50 baht if they're really, sometimes you get the right guy in the right day. They're really friendly. You're in a good mood. The sun is shining. You're out. And then other days, you're in a hurry and this guy's blabbing away and you're like, fuck, I don't want to tell this guy my life story. I got to concentrate on something, but you figure, hey, the guy's still a nice guy. He's trying to be friendly, so you give him a tip. You don't have to, especially with the Grab. You don't have to because they're already charging you a premium. But it sounds like you're doing it all right. Sometimes even though I prepay. Yeah, well, you don't really prepay here. If you don't have an account hooked up with like a Thai card, you gotta pay with cash, and you just pay after. If you got an account hooked up through your line account, through your Grab account rather, then, and I like to do that because it helps me keep track of what I'm spending for transportation. you know, I always try to give them, if nothing went wrong, I always give them 5 stars. And then I give them, usually it's like 20 baht. I give them like 20 baht. But, you know, it's not, the tipping is appreciated, but it's generally not expected. And if they are expecting it, you got to ask yourself, why are they expecting it? You know, it's like you negotiate a price for something, whatever it may be. Okay, it's 2,000 baht. And then you pay the 2,000 baht, and, oh, tip from me. It's like, fuck off. You know, it's like if they gave you a really good deal, they shouldn't. They probably, and you're halfway decent, they probably don't need to ask you. You'll give them 500 baht as a tip or something because they were really good at what they did, or they were really helpful. They provided a good service or product or whatever. You know, it's just about being decent. How much for bringing bags to a room in a hotel? Well, it kind of depends. Again, it always depends. I haven't used Bolt in forever now, Andy. I haven't used them in probably over a year. I don't think they're doing very well here. There is InDriver, which is good. But for the bags, you know, it depends. If you got heavy bags and they've got to go a long way, then you give them what you can afford. But you know, 200 baht a pop. You know, if the bags are not all that heavy and they're going a short distance, you know, 100 baht. And if it's just like a light bag, like, you know, they grab your bag, and sometimes they grab the bag and I'm like, fuck me, I don't need this guy carrying my bag to the place. But sometimes it helps to have them go up there with you because maybe you don't know how the air conditioner, you're not sure how the air conditioner works, or, you know, where's maybe the remote for the TV is not around. You're like, hey, where's the remote? And, you know, they can be helpful about some things. Maybe you don't know how to use the Wi-Fi. It's not clear. Sometimes they put it on the door. You know, sometimes it's on the little paper. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever given a guy less than, well, I have given somebody nothing because I was like, I don't need your help. And then they still wanted to help. And I was like, God damn it. And, you know, then the guy's kind of standing there like, you know, and I don't like that. If I say I don't need any help, that means I really don't need any help. It's not because I'm being a cheap cunt. And sometimes, you know, if you think about it, you don't have the proper change. So it's like, imagine being in the United States and you know, some guy carries a small backpack upstairs for you, and all you got's a 50, you know, or 100. That's all you got. You got like 3 $100 bills in your pocket. You know, what do you want to do? You're gonna give him it and go, hey, can you give me some change, please? You know. So something else you can do, and I've actually done this before, where I didn't have any change, and I asked the guy his name, and I go, hey, you know what? I don't have any change. I'm not gonna give you a fucking 1,000 baht for carrying one little bag up. You know, it's like 30 bucks. If I could, I would, but you know, I'm not in that financial stratosphere. But you know, I went down and just I got change, and I went over to the guy. Here you go. And you know, usually because it's the same thing with like I take a taxi and then I go, shit, I don't have any money, and they don't have a QR code thing. I'm like, hang on a second, I'll go inside. And you know, I always give them a little bit extra because I'm like, should have had the money, you know. But then again, like the other day, my wife is in the cab and she gives the guy, what was it she gave him? The bill was like 77 baht. And she gave him 100 baht. And the guy's like, oh, no change. And she's like, well, then go get some. She's like, go get the change. And she told me, she goes, you know, more and more I get these taxi drivers. They don't have any change. They don't have 20 baht? They don't have 20 baht at all? I mean, they don't have any change laying around? At least try, you know. But yeah, Andy, I don't know about the Bolt. I don't know how they're doing now. In fact, I deleted their app. I don't use them anymore. I use in driver sometimes, but they're cash only. I think Grab has pretty much stopped pre-charging you or charging you if you cancel, because sometimes what happens, what these guys do a lot of time is they're sitting at home. You know, especially early in the morning, they're sitting at home. They're waiting for somebody to call out for a taxi. You know, maybe the guy's like on the crapper. Yeah, I always leave I try to leave 100 baht a day for the cleaning crew. I don't, you know, it's easy that way. And again, it depends on if they clean the room. If they didn't clean the room and I'm like, what the fuck? They didn't even make up the room. And you got on there, you know, make up the room. Then it's like, I ain't giving them a tip, you know. But, you know, so it's just being decent, you know. And sometimes they think that they're due a tip no matter what, which is not the case, you know. It's like you get a tip if it warrants getting a tip. Anyway, where are we at on time? Wow, only 72 minutes. Time's going by slowly today. If you haven't left a thumbs up already, please do so. I'd appreciate it. Subscribe and all that good stuff. I am going to talk to Chucky. We didn't have a chance. We didn't even talk about it yesterday after we went offline. But we may go to Pattaya, you know, and go give Pattaya Bob a little bit of shit instead of giving each other shit. We may go to Phuket. I don't know. We go to Phuket. I'd like to go to Phuket because, you know, not only am I going with Chucky, but I go with my wife, and you know. Good evening, Mr. Dowlow. What's happening? Ooh. Well, $3 is about 100 baht. And so if they clean the room, let's say that you stay for 5 nights, I'd give them 500 baht. You know, 100 baht a day. They're making fuck all. I mean, really. You know, and if you can't afford it, then I understand. You know, you give them 20 baht a day or whatever. You give them what you can. You know, a tip is not supposed to break you. But usually that's, you know, I try to figure in how much. And, you know, like, I'll tell you what, like when we went to Chiang Mai and we went kayak, it was just me and my wife. We were the only ones. There was no other tourists there. There was nobody there. And there were 7 guys helping us. What was it that we gave them? I think we gave them each 500 baht as a tip. Now, you know, it added up. Yeah, per night, right. But, you know, it was like, hey, man, these guys come out here. They're busting their ass for us. They're helping us. It was a great experience. And my wife's like, listen, you know, we need to. And I think maybe what it was is we gave a couple guys 1,000 baht, and we gave like the driver like 300 baht or something. I don't remember, but or maybe because, you know, her and I just kind of, how much do you have? Oh, how much do you have? Oh, I got enough here, you know. So it depends on what you're doing, but like, and if you were going fishing, forget about it. You know, you're not gonna tip them 100 baht to go out and, you know, the captain and his mate. You're not gonna give them 100 baht each. It's gonna cost you. You really should tip them quite a bit more than that. But yeah, I mean, tipping in Thailand, it's not a big deal, you know. It's just try to be fair and decent about it, you know. I think that's how tipping should be everywhere. The only problem is when you get somebody who's like, tip for me, and they do that here, and they're fucking around. But they're hoping that they're gonna. I mean, and I throw in. It depends on what I got. I don't tip them all the time, but they have a little box there, and I see if the box is filling up or not. Sometimes I put in 5 baht, 10 baht. I put in my change. Sometimes I put 20 baht. Yeah, but the thing is you're paying for the van anyway. We paid like 1,800 baht for the guy to come pick us up and take us back. So all he did was sit there. He didn't do shit. It wasn't like he had to drive us all over the place or anything. He just drove us to the place, sat there, and didn't do jack shit. And so we didn't give him the same as the guys who were out on the water risking their ass with us. You know what I mean? And then it was kind of like at the end, I was like, hey, did you tip the driver? She's like, no. I go, well, we need to tip him. It might have been 500 baht, but I thought it was 300. I don't know. I don't remember. I think I said in one of the streams afterwards. And actually, my wife said to me just this morning, we gotta go back next month. We gotta go to Chiang Mai. Remember, we're gonna go. And I go, when you want to go to Phuket, and you want to go here, you want to go there. You open now? No. Yeah, it's for exceptional. Well, that's how it is here. It's really how it's supposed to be. But what's happened is it's kind of morphed into this, well, I feel bad, they're making fuck all, I gotta give them a little extra, whatever, You want to tip. You don't want to tip, don't tip. But if it's a place where where you really need to tip, like if you're paying for something and then you don't tip the guy who has bent over backwards to help you, and it's kind of like on a fishing boat. You catch a shitload of fish and you give the guy nothing. He goes, it's 9,000 baht for the day. You go out and you go fishing, and the captain and the mate, that you give them no tip, they're gonna be like, what the fuck, man? I caught this guy all this fish, and I took him. We had a great time, and I thought everything was great, and he didn't give me a tip. Now something like that, you need to tip. My wife doesn't know it. Well, she does know, but she doesn't want to remember. But I told her, I don't care if we go to Chiang Mai, I don't care if we go to Nakhon Nayok, but you're getting your ass back into the water. I believe we are, John. I believe, in fact, I talked to my wife about it yesterday. I do think we're going to go to Pattaya, and then just for a day or two. Spend one night there or something, and then we may go to Phuket. I don't know. I think he'll want to go to Phuket. You travel to the U.S. I hated the tipping. They even gave you 3 choices of gratuity. How about 0? Fuck you, 0. Your service sucked. You're not getting anything. I have 4,000 baht in my travel wallet. Might get some more. Yeah, I don't know why you do that, Andy. I mean, I guess it's good you have some. You don't have to worry about it right up front. I never did it because I always felt I got a shitty rate. I always got a shitty rate. When I went to France many years ago, I think it was 2000. I went to France, or 2002, I can't remember, but I think it was 2000. No, it was 2002. And I tried to change, I had some Thai baht, I brought Thai baht with me. I brought dollars and I brought Thai baht. And I went to go change the Thai baht, and I was like, what the fuck, I'm getting like 50% of the value. Nobody wanted Thai baht. I was like, you should have just changed it all into dollars, At least they'll take that. Because they were giving a shitty rate on the franc then. Lots of people coming in here today. I load up a bank travel card with the local currency. The biggest problem is the fees at the ATM in Thailand. You mean a bank travel card like what? From Australia? Well, the overstay and the quarantine have nothing to do with each other. They're not one and the same. He could quarantine, and if he decided I'm going to stay, and he's past the time that he's supposed to stay, he's still going to have to pay. You know, he must have overstayed it 8 days. Shit, I need some water. No money, no honey. Not funny. I use it for a SIM card in 7-Eleven, etc. when I first arrive. Correct, a travel card for our local bank in Oz. I'm thinking, Andy, used it for a SIM card. What do? You get it in the airport? You say that, but believe me, if they want to find you when you're exchanging your money, they'll find your ass. Nowadays, they'll find your ass. They're gonna find you. They got cameras everywhere. Thailand is no different than the UK. They got cameras everywhere. I think you should open an account in Thailand, and I'll tell you why. Get yourself an AIS card. Another little tip of the day. Open up an account. Open up a CASHAPP or a Bangkok bank. Or maybe Siam Commercial. And then use your, well, I haven't had any problems with that, Sabaidi. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, really. When it comes to any kind of a card or something like that. But you open that up and you get yourself an AIS SIM card, and then you connect it to your line account. All right? And you connect your bank to the line account. And then what you do is, first of all, if you were to move here, AIS, in my opinion, True sucks. That's just my opinion. It does not suit my needs. AIS suits my needs. And I'll give you an example. They have a promotion. You get 100 gigabytes of broadband service for 150 baht. Now you go over to True, it's gonna be like 800 baht for like 12 or 15 gigs, which that's not that much. So which is the better deal? And AIS, in my opinion, has better service, coverage. I mean, you think about all the places I've streamed, and not only inside Thailand, but outside of Thailand. There's been a lot of places. It's all been through AIS. Oh, the Thai officials, sorry, Sabaidi, the Thai officials prefer people with cash. Well, there you go. And that's, I mean, you know, what do I know about that? I don't know anything. I've never seen anybody do something like that. You know, shit like that happens, but it happens everywhere in the world. But yeah, you're right. But I'll have to get you to tell me again when it gets closer to travel there. Okay. But you're gonna need to have a bank account in order to be able to get that particular plan. Because if you don't, you can't hook it up to the line account, and it needs to be really CASHAPP, and you can link the bank account up there so that basically you just go put in, and you got to put in 300 baht at a time. You put in 300 baht, you got 150 baht. If you're here for 2 months, 150 baht should last you for a whole month very easily. 100 gigs of data. You know, unless you're sitting there watching YouTube hours and hours at a time, it should last you for a long time. I mean, it lasts me and I'm streaming, so let me go get a water or something. Get cotton mouth. Here we go. What? Let's see here. Andy, to use a travel card. It's interesting that you guys are using travel cards. You're not hooking up you're not just using the debit card from your bank account. Well, that's another reason why to use TransferWise. 100 baht. All you need to use is like 100 baht. And I don't know about in Oz. Hey, Monash. I don't know about in Oz, but in the United States, you know, there are banks that they don't charge you for the fee. And what they do is, like my bank doesn't charge me a fee for international withdrawals. And then if you do make a withdrawal, and the Thai bank, you know, the Thai bank charges like, I think it's like 210 baht now, 220. I don't even look at it anymore because I don't have to pay it. What happens is they take the money out, and then the next business day, they refund that. So if you're, you know, if you're taking out $1,000 US or whatever we'll say, and they charge you, well, I don't think you can even do that now. It's like 25,000, and there's no transaction fee, and then they, for me, they refund the money, the Thai bank fees. Yeah, and you know, I have a Schwab account, but like I said the other day, I have to go in there, and I haven't been able to do so. I got to go in there and then finish up the paperwork, and then they'll officially open the account, and I can start using it. I mean, I have 2 accounts in the United States, and I have 2 checking accounts and 2 savings accounts, and then I have the Charles Schwab. I don't really use one account. I just let some money sit there. Yeah, it's about now here it's about $7 something like that. But if your bank refunds it, then you don't have to worry about it. You know. Our bank would be less fees. Yeah, that's another thing. Well, they reimburse for me. They reimburse it the next day, so or the next business day. So I always know. Hey, I got a couple $100 going back into the account. That's cool, you know. Yeah, they never give you the official rate when you say yes. They give you the shit rate, and they usually they take out about 1.5 points, which is a lot. It adds up, man. And that's why I generally don't use my ATM card anymore from the United States. I use TransferWise. Because once in a while I get in a little, I need a couple $1,000 baht. I'm like, I'm not going to transfer the money. But good morning. But most of the time, if you have, you plan in advance a little bit, you have time to. And it doesn't take much time. I mean, if you do something by TransferWise, it can be instantaneous. Well, it's turned into that, yes. It's turned into tipping and financial matters here. My wife has an account at the Bangkok bank, probably open account. Well, they tend to be the easiest one, although you may have to go to Charles Schwab is international, yes. SunTrust, my bank, is not international, but nevertheless, and I have an account, a type of an account that they don't offer anymore, but because I got in, they grandfathered me, I got in at the right time. You got to pay $25 a month unless you get $25,000 in the account. Then it's nothing. It doesn't cost you anything. But so they make it up. If you don't have that money in the account, they make it up in other ways. Traveling has always been a pain. Visas, airport, BS, unexpected situations, turbulence, jet lag. But now it's worse. I'm waiting things out until they calm down. No international trips for me, 2022. I do agree that it's a pain. I never found turbulence to be a major issue, and I've been in some, there was one time in Japan where I was walking in the aisle and all of a sudden there was turbulence and I ended up flying up in the air and getting smashed down onto the bottom, to the floor. It wasn't very, very nice, but that shit, and all the trips that I've flown, there's probably been half a dozen times where there was some turbulence where I was like, oh shit. It's kind of par for the course. Jet lag, yeah, that's a bitch. Well, Super Rich it's the best place if you're here and you're trying to exchange cash. But what I find to be the biggest hassle is not the visa or the turbulence or even the jet lag. It's just the whole going through the rigmarole of getting through the airport, having to listen to these people tell you what to. Please take your belt off, sir. You're going to need to take your shoes off. I just don't like that, and that's why anytime I go through, I always wear slip-off, like sandals or whatever, flip-flops, and I never wear a belt because I go, Now, the one thing is, most of the time I'm carrying my laptop, which means, I've got to take my laptop out of my bag. It's not that big of a deal, but all right. I also use the ATM at an actual bank where possible in case my card is swallowed. There are many places where the ATMs are at an actual bank here now, and the banks are not open. And right out here, Bangkok Bank, they haven't been open in, God, I don't know when the last time they were open. It's been a year or so since they haven't been. And that used to be my bank. Then they moved it over to down the street for some reason. But they were open. I don't know why, but yeah, never exchange money in the airport. And if you do, don't exchange a whole lot of money. Exchange only what you need and a tad bit more, but that's about it, you know. Where am I at? Boy, I'm flying by here. Regarding funds from a Thai bank account. No, we're not. It's not really about funds from a Thai bank account. Super Rich is the best place to exchange money. Again, if you've got cash, sometimes I would get paid in US dollars in boxing. There were a couple times where our guys got paid, everybody got paid in dollars. And so, what am I going to do with it? Take it to the Thai bank and exchange it at the bank? No, I want to get the most money I can, so I always took it to Super Rich. And sometimes I would save a few $100, you know, 300 to 500, whatever I could. And that's how I would exchange the money. If your Thai bank does currency, it is more in the fees. But yeah, in a lot of places in Thailand, like now, like even at some Bangkok banks, they will only exchange the money at certain times of the day, and they give you a crappy rate. Go to Krung Street, and they tend to have the best rates. For me, they've always had the best rates, it seems. They can open up the ATM for you at the bank, otherwise it's a big hassle. Yeah, I mean, that's great if they're open. So you got to make sure, and sometimes, you know, it's late at night, it's early in the morning, whatever. That's why I try not to use the ATMs when it comes to... The other thing is that here in Thailand, if you have a Thai bank, all right, and you're not withdrawing from Australia or the United States or wherever, you're withdrawing from your Thai bank, you don't need a card. There's cardless withdrawal. All you need is the app on your phone. So as long as your phone's charged and you got the app for, say, Bangkok Bank on your phone, you don't even need the card. So it's great because you can't lose your card. Citibank used to be a lot more, what's the word here? Prolific? No. They used to be a little more pronounced here. They were. It was a bigger deal, but now they're not as. My buddy used to get paid, and he used to go to Citibank whenever he got paid to take his money out because he's coming from the U.S. Now it's not quite as big of a deal because of the other methods of transferring money. And if you don't know that, also now, well, if you have an account, a PayPal account, there are ways to transfer money to where you can get it in Thailand. You know, airport experience is slightly better with the lounge accents. A couple friends who, where am I at here? I have a couple of friends who export U.S. goods to Thailand to sell. They have need some cash. ATM, give you cash first, then your card. I left my card at the ATM once. Well, I've done that too. Don't feel bad. I lost my Amex card once that way. And I couldn't remember which ATM I was at. And there was no bank. I do know that. I give them cash in the U.S. Yeah, there are people. I know a couple guys. One guy in particular always used to tell me, don't exchange with anybody but me. And I was like, that's not always convenient, buddy. But he would give me a great rate, but he just wanted them dollars. I mean, just today, I left my Siam Commercial Bank card. I gave her my card and paid for everything. And I walked away. I just forgot it. She just handed it back to me. That's a good thing about Thailand. What is this here? We both mint just for taxi. I almost left my car and I said, they pay you well. Takes enough cash and some Thai baht for your first 2 days. Good ideas. You don't really need, nowadays, you don't really need to bring money with you. You know? I mean, I understand you might need money for the taxi or whatever. If you got a Thai bank account, once you have money in it, then you don't need it. You just go, I'm going to pay by QR. Sometimes I use an ATM at 7-Eleven. I used an ATM at the 7-Eleven just the other day. But again, I was transferring. I wasn't transferring. I was taking out from my Thai bank account, and I didn't use a card. I'm trying to get away from using a card, having to carry around a wallet. I don't want to have to do that. You know, even my health card. My health card is on my phone now. So I don't need, really, if anything happened, aside from me being unconscious, and then in that case, somebody would find out because I do have my ID with me. I do have an ID. They'd get a hold of my family, they would know, and then I would, I would square them away. They would be able to take care of things. But Stephen, my wife's always has bought when we get there. I never know where it comes from. I never carry money here. Everything is tap and go using Apple Pay. Yeah, that's great. I wish we could use Apple Pay here. I don't get paid in Apple Pay that much. And I wish I could, because I can use that money to pay for things online. Like I have a Apple, what do you call it, the storage. I pay every month. I think I don't remember how much I have. I have, was it 100 gigs or something like that? 500 gigs? No, 100, yeah, I think it's 100 gigs. And it's nice to pay right from Apple. You don't have to even put in anything else. You just hit Apple Pay and you pay, it automatically will take it out of there. So yeah, there's plenty of ways now. And just in the last couple of years, things have changed. More people, believe me, are using the QR. And maybe, if I'm sure your wife's probably talking to people, or your wives are talking to people back in Thailand, but even here, the other day I asked them, I go, can I pay with QR? Can I pay with Rabbit Pay? And I'm like, what? You don't have that? I'm like, what the hell? And then, the girl told me the other day, now we take QR code. I said, is it just from one bank or from no, everywhere. We'll take it from any bank. I said, okay, cool. So, that's what I mean. Yeah, Apple might be big in the United States, might be big in Australia and the UK. But when it comes to paying for things here, they still have their shit together. They really got their shit together. Everything's QR now. QR code. You wanna sign in to say that you came into the mall because of the COVID? QR code. You want to pay for a restaurant bill? QR code. Everybody has the merchant. And every bank that I bank with has a QR code. So if anybody's in Thailand and they want to pay me for something, or whatever it is, boom, easy to transfer the money. Very easy. I do like that. I do like that convenience. It would be nice to be, I told the wife the other day, I go, maybe Koh Samui, we could be on Koh Samui for a while. Let's try to figure that out. She's like, I don't know. Go somewhere. So I said, well, I'm sure they use QR code there, and it's easy to pay for things. Yeah, it might be a little bit more expensive, but all in all, you could feasibly, and it could be anywhere. It could be some beach in Pattaya. It could be, Hua Hin, wherever it might be. You can be isolated, not isolated. It could be Khao Lak. That's what I did in Khao Lak. In Khao Lak, you go there, you're on the beach, there's nobody on the beach with you, you're like chilling. Maybe you got a little bungalow, you got a little hotel like I did. And you go in and like, you don't even need any cash. Yeah, that's what I mean. Even little food carts, little food vendors on the street, they got the QR code. Here's my QR. Because all they need is a bank account. That's all they need. You just got a bank account, and it puts up a QR code. You get your QR code from the bank, and you can get it right online. I know there's a lot of people who, and I'm one of them, who I still like cash. I still like to be able to go here, boom. But there is always the threat of somebody stealing it from you, or being robbed or something like that. And I mean, what's going to happen in the future? People are going to go, all right, listen, open your phone and get my QR code. I'm going to rob you. Scan my QR code. I'm robbing you right now. How much money you got in your account? Yeah, I don't know about Google Pay because I don't have it. I think I'm able to accept it, but I don't have it on my phone because I have an iPhone. And I thought about accepting Google Pay through my website and also Apple Pay, but it's a pain in the ass for me to get it to work, and I don't have the knowledge how to do it. It's much easier just giving somebody your email address or your phone number, and then they can pay you by that. That'll change, though. This is what I mean. For all the shit that people give Thailand, and and I'm one of them, for maybe not doing enough to maybe they can do more to open up and to get a tourist to come back, and they're not doing enough. They do have a lot of attractive reasons to come here. Google Pay is not popular here. No. Not at all. The most popular thing is the QR code. And line pay is okay. Prompt pay, which is through a bank. And other than that, forget about it. My wife has a Payoneer account. She's trying to get everything squared away with that. I have a Payoneer. I didn't like them. That's like a PayPal. And PayPal, as I said the other day, if you have an account here in Thailand, originally what they said was, if you have an account here, in order to withdraw to your Thai bank account, you must have a registered business in Thailand. And my wife's going through the whole rigmarole, and then on their website it says, when we both logged in, it said, hey, please verify the information we need from you. You need to do this by February 18th. I'm like, oh shit, okay. I went on, I go, okay, this is it, all right. And they, you're verified, no problem. This is new. She does it, no problem. We both do it. I've got a personal account and a business account. Boom, do it. And then I noticed, I said, well, why are they doing this? I gotta look and see. Oh yeah, now what it is only new people have to have registered businesses. People with old accounts do not have to register their business. So something changed. So there's PayPal. That's another method that people use here. I mean, most people use PayPal at one point or another. Who doesn't love cash? There's something to be said for having a block of money in your pocket or in front of you, or a big stack of cash, Listen, I try to call my parents and get them to use the video chat. And it's like, no, we don't need to do that. You don't have to. I mean, yeah, but don't you want to see, the kids? It's all right. Send me a photo. Some people just never want to, they don't want to, it doesn't matter. It's not important. They're fine. Listen, if you can pay with cash everywhere you go, why not? Isn't that how it works, down low? What's mine is hers, and what's hers is hers. And once in a while, what's ours is ours. But definitely, that's how it works in Thailand. We have an ongoing feud, although it seems to have mellowed out now because she's needed some things that I've had. Excuse me. She knows I like peanut butter. Now, I don't eat a whole lot of peanut butter anymore. I just don't eat that much of it. But I found this brand of peanut butter. It has no sugar in it. So I would buy it, and I would put it in a protein drink, or sometimes I'll put it on like a piece of toast or whatever, and I'll warm the peanut butter up and put it on the bread. Nice piece of wheat bread or something, put some peanut butter on it. So I noticed she started buying the same brand of peanut butter. I don't remember the name of it, but it's not, Skippy or Jif or anything. And it doesn't have sugar in it, but it's chunky. It's got the chunks of peanuts in them. Instead, I like the creamy. Now, sometimes in a pinch, I've grabbed some of the peanut butter and used it. I didn't think it was a big deal. So one day she comes to me and she goes, "You've been eating my peanut butter." I know it's you. You've been eating my peanut butter. I set you up. I know it's you. The kids weren't home. And the peanut butter you've been dabbling in my peanut butter. Why? I said, well, because I ran out. So get some more. I'm like, what's the problem? Of course, when I had peanut butter and she had no peanut butter, she was in there, and I'm like, who ate my peanut butter? I'm like, what the I only got one spoonful of peanut butter. I'm like, what happened to all my peanut butter? Oh, me and the kids ate it. I'm like, what do you mean? We used it for a protein shake. That's what I mean. But oh my God, I got shit the whole day about the chunky peanut butter. Yeah, that's the other thing. In my house, it's, hey, who ate my strawberries? I had some strawberries in there, or I had a protein bar. It's a peanut butter and jam protein bar. It has 4 grams of sugar. I'm like, oh, I haven't found this thing in a long time. I'm gonna have this. It's gonna be one of my snacks or whatever. Or, it'll be a lunch replacement. I go in, I'm like, where the hell's my protein bar? I'm like, what the? And then I'm like, Alex, did you have my protein bar? What protein bar? And I go, Nicholas, where's my protein bar? I didn't eat your protein bar. And I'm like, Bo, you eat my protein bar? No. I'm like, well, then who the hell ate it? Somebody ate my protein bar, That's how it is in my house. But then when I go grab, a little spoon of peanut butter, it's like, hey. There are certain quirks you have to get through. I'm sure, Dallo, that if your wife finds out you made some kind of a score, you got some bonus, you got some kind of a score, she's probably like, I want to go shopping. But then, if they make a score, it's like you never hear about it. That's kind of how it works. I learn slow, but I learn good. Well, you sound like me. It takes me a long time to hammer things out in my head. Peanut butter is a big one. We have these, they sell these grapes here in Thailand. They come in a little plastic container in the grocery. It's about that big, about that wide. And they have, what they'll do is they'll put a cherry in there, and then they'll put 2 red grapes and 2 green grapes, and then another cherry. So there's a few cherries, and there's red grapes, and there's also green grapes. And so what we do, we've figured it out. We put them in the freezer. And what happens is they get very, very cold, of course, and the outside is a little bit firm, but the inside is it's almost like it's ice cream. It's so good. And so we'll buy some from here. We'll get like 2 of them. Or, let's say we get 1 of them. We'll get 1 of them, and I'll put it in the freezer. That night I'll start eating some. I'll eat, half of the container. It's a couple 100 grams. It's not that much. And then the next day, I'll be like, oh man, I need some more of those grapes. I'll have them for breakfast or whatever. They're so good. I'll go in and grapes are all gone. And I'm like, who ate my grapes? But then if I do the same thing, I get, who ate my grapes? So now it's this contest. Hey, don't touch my grapes. We got grapes in there. Don't touch them. These are for me. I'm eating these grapes. Don't take my grapes. It's the grapes and the peanut butter. Those are the highly contested items in our family. And usually I lose. Because if I buy 3 grapes, I'll eat 1, and then the other 2 are gone. I'm like, what happened to all my grapes? Oh, those were yours. but if there's 2 little packages in the freezer, and I eat 1, it's like, hey, there was 2 packs. That was 1 was for Alex and 1 was for Nicholas. What about the 1 for me? You need to go and get go get 1 tomorrow from the grocery. That's what I get. God. Hey, that's the life and times of an American in Bangkok. I didn't even think about it. I got to go back to that La Mesa, which that's another place I would, a return trip is definitely warranted. I need to bring the guy like an American in Bangkok T-shirt, him and his wife, because they're both Americans, so they can wear the T-shirt, and they go, I'm an American in Bangkok. It's not what you're thinking. What? The mystery of the peanut butter. My Labrador. Ew. There are a lot of cafes. I do have a cafe that I want to go to. I asked my wife about a cafe that's down the street from my house, and she goes, "Oh, I've worked at that one, and I've worked at the one across. The street." And I said, "Well, how was this one? Because I like the look of it." She goes, "Old people own it." I go, "Well, what does that mean?" Across the street, it's young people. It's a hip place. It's cool. They're friendly. There's free Wi-Fi. You can plug your computer in. They don't have a problem. They got plenty of plugs. Everything is as it should be in a nice, local coffee shop. I said, "Well, what about the other places? This place I want to go." And she said, "It's old people there. You're only allowed to stay there for 2 hours. You're not allowed to plug in your computer to the electric because you're using their electricity. And if you talk to anybody," she said, "I was doing business." She said, "I was, talking to my customers. And I was getting the stink eye from the old people that were the owners." She said, "She got the stink eye." She goes, "So I never go back there now." So I was like, well, I guess I won't go to this place. But it's local anyway, so I don't really want to go to cafes out in my neck of the woods, really. Unless they're really, really good, and I haven't seen any. Durian, it's really, really nice if you have it with some coconut milk and some sticky rice. I don't know, I really like dragon fruit a lot, but I do like mango with sticky rice and little nuts and some coconut milk. That is probably my favorite fruit. I like sankaya, also, which is like a custard. That's really good. Yeah, you'll get used to that stinky foot smell and the texture. Eat it with the sticky rice with some coconut milk, and the sweetness with the pungent flavor and the smell and the sticky rice, the texture of that, it all goes together. Mangosteen is all right. Yeah, I like, what the hell is it called? I always forget this. It's not mangosteen. It's, God damn it, it's like a custard also. Can't remember the name of it. What the hell is the name of that? Now it's gonna drive me nuts. I'm not a real big fan. I like coconut, but I'm not like a fan of anything fouling the coconut. I like coconut milk, I like coconut water, but that's about it. And the pineapple are very good, very refreshing, like watermelon, you know, very juicy. Let's see here. What was I looking for? Mango is the bomb. See, Malacca, durian, no, rambutan. Well, I like rambutan, but they're not my favorite. Let's see here if they got them here. More. Rambutan, durian, saparot, Malacca. I do like papaya. It's quite good. Gelmongkon, guava, falang. Som-o, those are really good. Pomelo, those are great in the morning. The grapefruit, rose apple, jackfruit, custard apple, noinai. No, that's not the one. Langsat, no, that's not the one either. It looks a little bit like that. What the hell is that thing called? I like beer with my fish sauce. Lynchy. Lamut. Lamut is, oh, it's so good, man. If you get a chance to eat some lamut, I highly recommend it. It's like custardy and kind of like a fig, but not as thick and chewy as a fig. Yeah, it's so good, man. And I don't get to eat it enough. I really like it. Banana, snake fruit salad, tengmor. Yeah. Anyway, what are you talking about? Lamut? Yeah, pomelo is refreshing. Jannar, you need to stay away from beer. You're a bad influence. I said something this morning to one of them, to Preo. I said something, and she responded very politely. And I said to Beer, I said, you see, she's so polite, not like you. And then I don't know what it was. She came back and Preo came back and said something else. She was a smartass. I was like, what the fuck, man? There you go. Preo, say hello. Hi. There you go. There you go, Gennaro. I'm on Phillips. I have a problem with copperhead snakes. Highly poisonous. That's not good. You gotta watch out for them highly poisonous snakes. Lots of them in Australia and also in Thailand. I do worry about that in Thailand. Not for me, but more for my kids and stuff. I get those plastic cups full of different fruit when I'm rocking it. Yeah, I don't like to do that. I mean, you know, it's like a fruit cocktail or whatever. I don't mind that, but like you can buy all the stuff and make your own, and it's like for a tenth of the cost. We always have fruit. Like right now we have like mixed berries in the freezer. We have strawberries in the freezer. We have bananas that are on the table. We have, what was that other one that we have? I don't know what the hell it was. Let me see. Where is it? Well, we might have some dragon fruit. Mangkut. Yeah, mangkut. We have some mangosteen. MotoGP, what? What's the subject of MotoGP? Ross used to own that race. You lost me. I'm gone. I don't understand. Yeah. Gennaro is on again this year after a 2-year hiatus. Let's hear it, Monash. Hottie, there you go. You see, I knew somebody was going to say something. Hottie alert. I know. How did we go from fruit to motorcycle racing? Okay, here on Phillip Island. I got you. Now I understand. I kind of thought that, but it was a little, I was like, huh? There you go, Monash. Hottie alert for you. All for you. This place is, as always, right around 10:30, 11 o'clock, the place starts filling up. And by about 2 o'clock, it's generally full. Yesterday we came here and the table right in front of me was completely empty, which is where Chucky and I sat down. But everywhere else was filled up. I only do it for Gennaro in case he misses it. All right, anyway, let's see here. Was there anything else I needed to talk about? The resumption of test and go will help tourism entrepreneurs keep their businesses running and subsequently help boost domestic tourism in line with the government's plan to introduce the 4th phase of Rautio Duekan, We Travel Together, travel subsidy scheme this year. I love how they have a name for everything. Sometimes I wish they'd just go, all right, everybody can fucking come in. It's not the test and go. It's like get your asses into Thailand. It's the get your ass to Thailand program. I'll tell you one thing that you guys should take note of. Whenever you see, I know it's not always polite because my wife reminds me all the time, but take a look at some of the shirts that people are wearing here. And I always hark back to one of the shirts my wife used to wear. And I said to her, do you know what this means? Do you have any idea what this means? She's like, I never even thought of it. I'm like, and on the front of her shirt it said junkie baby powder, and it had a syringe with some baby like looking all stoned. And I was like, what the fuck is, who made that? And so I see people with these, you know, like I'll see some kid that's like, you know, wearing something, and I'm going, man, you know, why would you have fuck you on your shirt and you're like 14 years old? Don't you know what that means? I mean, are you just like, hey, you're rebellious and you're gonna wear that? And then I see like, you'll see some little bespectacled girl. She weighs about 80 pounds and she's like, you know, 28 years old. And she's proudly flaunting her Pornhub t-shirt. And I'm like, so I guess, what does that mean? Are you aware of what you're wearing? Are you completely aware of what you're wearing, or what's the, She wouldn't tell me. It used to be it just said bad girl. But on the jacket she has now, she wouldn't tell me. I'm not sure what it was. I never. So if it's right in front of my eyes, then I'll see it. I'm not the most, I'm not the sharpest tack when it comes to, seeing everything that's going on. They sell Che Guevara. They've been selling Che Guevara for fucking years, man. Ever since I've been here, they've been selling that. Yeah, and they sell, Nazi stuff, all kinds of stuff. I know some people who have been snake bitten, but not here in Thailand. I know of people who got bit here in Thailand. Like my wife said, people used to get bit all the time in the jungle where she grew up. Rubber farmers get bit all the time, and the outcome is not always positive because you're dealing with some really nasty creatures. I mean, Malaysian pit vipers in general are just nasty. You do not want to mess with them. And cobras, you don't want to mess with them. You don't want to get bit by them. That was the one jacket. I don't know about what she was wearing today. I haven't seen it because she was wearing it, and then when I went up and got something else to drink, she wasn't wearing it. For some reason now she takes offense that she's known as the bad girl now. I don't get it. You're the one with the jacket on, Yeah, they can last for years. It's like I said, poisonous snakes, man. They're nothing to trifle with. And the problem in Thailand is that what happens is the rubber tappers. What happens is they see the snakes or the snake. They see the snake, and then they try to kill them. And maybe they have a machete. So, maybe they end up killing the snake, but they get bit in the process, or they reach in somewhere where they shouldn't reach in, which is why I've warned my kids many times. When you're out in the forest, do not reach into something with your hand. If you can't see where you're reaching, don't put your hand in there, Yeah, most of the time snakes want to avoid you. They don't want to get aggressive with you. However, like cobras are known to be pretty damn aggressive. If you invade their territory, they are extremely aggressive, and you don't want to mess with a cobra. I don't. And the other one that always really got me was the black mamba. They're so fast, the black and the green mamba. You don't want to mess around with them. They're so fast. How are you going to get away from the goddamn thing? If they want to bite you, they're going to bite you. So it's better you wear boots. Don't wear flip-flops. You wear boots when you're out. And, a lot of the rubber tappers, they're wearing, like, knee-high boots, rubber boots. And so most of the snakes, when you get bit, they get bit. They're either going to get a bit on the hand, or they're going to get bit on the ankles. So, and I knew a guy who got bit in. Australia by a brown snake. He said he almost died, and obviously he didn't. But that was pretty interesting. I don't see snakes around the klongs. My wife did tell me. She said in the neighborhood, somebody came across a cobra in the neighborhood. And so when I heard that, the beer mamba, let me just tell you something, Gennaro. if you are in a place where you see the same woman, if you're at a job or if you're in a coffee shop and you see the same woman all the time, a lot of times you will see the mood swings, or you can see the changes. Sometimes, oh, she's so happy and friendly, and sometimes very serious and moody. And I think that's why, like I was talking to Chuck yesterday, I think a lot of the people who come here who end up being chatterheads, they don't realize that they're not here long enough to get to really know anybody. What they know is very superficial. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just keep it that way. Don't expect them to be your next, your future ex-wife. Never got bit. Yeah. See some rattlesnakes at the parks. Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Florida, and I used to live in California. In California, I saw rattlesnakes. In Florida, I saw coral snakes and copperheads and cottonmouths, water moccasins. When it's hot and it's raining late at night, and I like to go out in the yard, it tells me to get inside because the rain pisses the snakes off. Might. I guess it depends exactly where you are, but we have the most poisonous snakes here in Australia, but only 1 to 3 people die from snakes bites a year. Yeah, that's not very many, as opposed to in Africa where people are dying left and right from them. Let me see something here. Yeah, but the copperhead in America is very, very, it's poisonous. Let's see here. Let me see. Wow, Latin America has a hell of a lot of snake bites. As does Asia. Australasia, number of snake bite envenomings per year. In Australia, the low estimate is 1,099. The high estimate is 1,260. In Asia, the low estimate, which is the highest estimate in the world, is 237,379. The high estimate is 1,184,550. The number of deaths, again, Asia tops the list. Australasia, low estimate 2, high estimate 4. North Africa, not that many actually. Sub-Saharan Africa, low estimate of deaths, 3,529. High estimate, 32,117. So Africa comes in second for the number of deaths. Asia comes in first, which is pretty freaking scary when you think about it. Bangladesh, the incident of snake bites is very high. Out of 8,000 snake bites per year, 22% mortality. Wow. Oh, but there's also I forgot about the crate. There's crates in Thailand and in Malaysia. Russell's viper, saw-scaled viper, green snakes, which there was a green snake that was tangled in my shoe when we were hiking briefly. Oh, Jesus. Common crate. Reports of large man-eating python are common in Southeast Asia, although the threat is typically exaggerated. However, in the Philippines, more than a quarter of Atamen, a modern forest-dwelling hunter-gatherer group, have reported surviving a reticulated python attack. Holy shit, man. More than a quarter of these guys, this particular group of people, got attacked by pythons. This must be some gnarly ass python. It doesn't even say anything about, let me see here, in Myanmar, approximately 70 to 80% of bites are inflicted by the Russell's viper, which is frequently found in rice fields. Thailand, the monocled cobra is responsible for the majority of snakebite fatalities. Tea plantations are sometimes associated with elapids such as the common cobra and king cobra. So there you go. India, yeah, they do, but let me see here. It doesn't say specifically which. Let me see here. See if it will give me the 411. Very slow. Another long stream. What am I doing? Anyway, very slow. Let me see what it says about India. On the Indian subcontinent, almost all snakebite deaths have traditionally been attributed to the big four: Russell's viper, Indian cobra, saw-scaled viper, and the common krait. The hump-nosed viper, previously considered essentially harmless and misidentified as the saw-scaled viper, is capable of delivering a fatal bite. In Kerala, India, it's maybe responsible for 10% of venomous bites. Wow. Anti-venom does not appear to be effective against hump-nosed viper bites. At least 81,000 snake envenomations and 11,000 fatalities occur in India each year, making it the most heavily affected country in the world. The Malayan pit viper, gnarly, and banded krait are two other species involved in a number of significant number of venomous bites. Yeah, you don't want to mess with the Malaysian pit viper or any krait or any viper. You just don't want to mess with them. Or cobras. You don't want to mess with those, man. Let's see here. Oh, this doesn't tell you anything. Anyway, here we go. There's our epidemiology of snake bites. A fierce snake. Oh, yeah. Oh, the taipan, that's very nasty as well. There's a lot of nasty-ass snakes out there. Isn't rattlesnake a delicacy? Is the snake show worth going to in Bangkok? You know what, Andy? If you're going to be around, like, Mabung Krong and do some shopping or whatever, it's not far from there. And, yeah, I would go, go once. And I mean, the smell of the place is not the best because, they're snakes. And they're all, there's about a 5 foot high, well, it's 5 foot, it's inset into the ground about 5 feet, 3 feet. And then they have these big covers on top of the snakes. And you don't even see them, but they're out there. They're all out there, a shitload of snakes. And then what they do is they give you the whole snake show, but you can go inside and you can look around and they have like a little snake museum. But what they do is they do a milking. They show you how they milk them and what snakes do what. And it's pretty cool. It's only a couple hours, so it's like it's worth you want to kill a little bit of time and you're in the area, it's worth it. I wouldn't take a trip and a 2-hour trip from somewhere just to go there, but when we went, I went with the kids once, and I went by myself once. My old lady doesn't want to go. She hates snakes. We went to that snake show in Chiang Mai, and the guy was like, touch it, it's good luck. And she was like, no way, I don't want to touch it. Finally, she just touched it to get the guy to go away. She just was like, okay, I touched it. And that was it. But, that thing was a cobra. And she did not want that thing anywhere near her, Yeah, they have a rattlesnake festival in Texas where they just have like a huge like pit full of rattlesnakes. I actually had some snakeskin boots many years ago. Or was that ostrich? It was ostrich. Sorry. Oh well. No snakeskin boots. But the ostrich, they were expensive at the time. For me, they were like $400, man. Anyway. Snakes. Yeah, one more great thing in paradise. You know, that's another thing. Like if you go somewhere like I don't know, you're in Krabi. Well, you think there's no, you might be on the beach. Okay, there's no snakes over there, but you go in and you go, I'm gonna go for a little walk in the jungle. You gotta be careful. You do have to be careful. You do have to keep your eyes open. I think it beats talking about poop. I'd rather talk about snakes than poop. They kind of look, they're kind of the same. Does it have Ice Cube's picture on it? On the shoes? His face? So, we got a foreigner in here. I don't know. I guess he's going somewhere. I don't know if he's leaving Thailand or just traveling around, but he's got like 2 suitcases, 3 suitcases here. I actually did step in some the last time. When I was in Chiang Mai, I stepped in some. Some people do. They do it in Vietnam as well. You can eat the heart of a snake if you want while it's still beating. I kind of find it like, listen, if I really want to do it, I'll do it. I'm not scared, but I'm like, why do I want to? What's the point to say I did? I know I can't. I'm not a chicken shit. You know what I mean? I'm not like, oh my God. No, if I had to eat it, I would. But like, do I really want to? No, I'd rather have like, you know, a nice dish of pad thai or something. Yeah, you can get, you know, stuff like belts and wallets and shoes and all kinds of stuff. It's a bit expensive, but you can get it, and it's, you know, and I think in most cases, like if you get it from the snake farm, I thought they were closed though, but there are plenty of places to buy it. Even in CASHAPP, you can buy this stuff. But it is a little bit pricey. Why stop at the snake's heart? Why not eat the tiger penis or something? I mean, really, where does it end? It's like, would it make you that much better to drink the blood? I always think about that. Like, what's going to happen after I drink the blood? I'm like, what am I getting out of it? A shitty taste in my mouth? Yeah, okay. I mean, listen, do I want to do it for my channel? Why? So I can make like $3? Or nothing? You know. And by the way, the yesterday's live stream, because there was music in the background, I like immediately got like 5 copyright claims against me because they could hear the music. In Starbucks, you can't always hear the music, so I almost never have a problem. Once in a while. But I was surprised yesterday. I was like, damn. Well, good for Harold Balder. You know, he's got a couple million subscribers. I'm sure he did very well from that. If I do it, it's gonna, you know, like I said, I'll make like $3. Is it worth the $3? To have that shitty taste in my mouth? No. Not really. I mean, listen, for $3, I'm not eating at the Rap God. take a little trip. To get drunk. That's what there's a purpose of that. There is a reason. You drink whiskey to get drunk. Now, that's not exactly my go-to drink. I did drink it on one occasion. I ended up asleep in the front of a house in a village in a hammock with a buffalo looking at me from 10 feet away. So that was an experience. But you know, like, why would I have it now? I'd rather have a nice shot of tequila. I think we're due for a tequila stream. Tequila stream at Starbucks? Again, I don't have any problem eating any of that stuff. If like somebody goes, Scott, I'll give you $500 to eat the worm, you know, like the little crunchy worm or whatever that they serve outside. Yeah, okay, I'll do it for the $500. There's a reason to do it. But like, I'm gonna make $3. I'm gonna eat that for what? Fuck that, for $3. I'd rather go buy myself a nice pad thai, you know? Well, I would do it, but, you know. Monash and Gennaro, you might be drooling, but I can't. There's no line of sight, if you know what I mean. There's an alert. I spilt Lao Cow on my leg and got third degree burn. Well, listen, I don't give a shit. This is Thailand, baby. I don't give a shit what they say. I do what I want. You know, if I really wanted to eat one, I would. But, you know, it would be like, okay, like, can I have it sauteed or something? You know, like, make it taste good. Like, put a little pepper on it at least. Well, the damn thing is beating, you know, put a little pepper on them. You know, sprinkle a little garlic, put a little sauce on that bad boy. Yeah, I ate the worm a long time ago. And, you know, it didn't do anything. It's like, why? Why did I do it? Just to say I would. Just so people would believe me. But, like, you know, you're always going to have non-believers. And, you know, that's the way it goes. Let's see here. You put on your red dress. Oh, God. Gennaro. I will tell you that, I will tell Beer that she is the world to you. She's the world. She means everything to you, Gennaro. I know. Hottie alert. Oh my God. All right, guys, I think it's time to go. Hottie or not. Don't forget to get yourself a t-shirt, ladies and gentlemen. I would appreciate that. Or you can do whatever you want. You know why? Because I am your conduit to Thailand. Smash that like button, hit subscribe. I have to tell you that my numbers go down. The more that I stream, the more my numbers go down. The more I just put up videos, the more my numbers go up. So remember that. Oh, there you go. She's your hottie, Gennaro. I thought you already had one. I'm gonna tell on you. I'm gonna rat you out to Beer. probably the only. No, I'm not gonna say it. All right, I'll say it. What the hell? You never know. It could be the only red dress she owns, and it's like her best outfit. She's putting her sexy on so that some guy can come and meet her. You know, you never know, and that's okay. You know, whatever. And it's so funny, you can't see it. The freaking wind is blowing her dress up. She just ran. The wind was blowing her dress up a la Marilyn Monroe. Yes, that shows class. My son did a video of him eating a spider in Khao Road. It was dry, retching. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, what's the point of that? If I'm making money a la Fear Factor, all right, then give it up. I can't get you bastards to pay me $100 just to eat at fucking Rap God. And believe me, that food. Yeah, thank you, Steven. That food up there might as well be a freaking spider. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. I'm not a nice guy. What can I say? I'm mean. I'm cruel. It could be one of many red dresses that she has that she looks fabulous in. To lure guys like Gennaro and Monash into her lair like a little spider. $6 for the Rap God. I appreciate that, Tom. I really do. But yeah, let's forget about the Rap God. There's $6. Anybody got $94? You got $94. I'll be heading up to the Rap God. There we go. Coffee for the next stream. Thank you, Andy. Choke D to everybody. But it is served by Eddie Munster's sister. Well, you never know. She might not be there anymore. She might be gone. Those eyebrows might have been shaved off. She may have trimmed them or whatever, you know. All right, we need about $92 more, and I'll go up in there and have a burrito from the Rap God, because I can guarantee you for the next 3 or 4 days, I'll be hurting and swearing at you bastards, going, it's only money. Why the hell did I accept that money to go up and have some freaking hot, what was it that I had? I thought it was a hot dog. Isn't that what it was? Oh, it was a God dog. Remember that? I had the God dog and it was little pieces of meat. It wasn't even a hot dog. I don't know where she is. She's in the back, I think. Hang on a second. Let's see here. Oops. Wrong angle. That's a joke only I will get, or maybe. The sick bastards might get it here. Oop. $5 not to go to Rap God. Thank you, Mr. Monash. Joke D. Oh my God. Who was that? Another YouTuber got $100 to shave off his beard. Fuck, I shaved mine off for free. I'm too cheap, you know that? I'm just a cheap whore. I think that's what it is. I'm just a cheap whore. And, you know, I just sold myself too cheap a long time ago. She's got some thick eyebrows. I can't get in there close. She's got customers right now, but she's got some thick eyebrows. she might fit right in there. You know, you let them, tell her to let them grow in a little bit more. She might have a 9-inch caterpillar across her face. Let's see if you like her that much afterwards. If you really love her, Gennaro, you'll love her with caterpillar or without. With one caterpillar or two. Just another day in paradise. Oh yeah, it's paradise. Our friend Andrew is upset with me because I called him a child or whatever the hell it was. I said he was childish. I think the correct phrase would be a bit juvenile in his thinking. He got upset with me and sent me a message saying, you know, basically, screw you. I'm unsubscribing because you said I was childish. I think if you really believe that you're going to come to Thailand just to get married, and you really, well, I'm not going to get into it. I think that was that phrase was appropriate. That's what I'm going to say. Thai women eyebrows. I don't know. I got to look at my. Now you're going to make me look at my old lady's eyebrows. $81 to go, baby. There you go. Well, actually, it's $84.59. Idea Studio Bangkok. I never heard of it, the place or the person or whoever. Shaved off his beard for $100. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll shave this for $100. How's that? Since I already shaved off the bush that I had on my the bush that I had on my face before, and I'm about to shave this off anyway. So. Thank you, you know, if you were considering paying the $100, but it's unnecessary. You know, get a t-shirt or something. Get something for your money. That's more appropriate. You know, although I am here, you know, doing shit I would probably never have dreamed of doing when I was a young boy. Carrying on a conversation about snakes and hotties and poo and whatever. It started out so good. $100 to shave your eyebrow and see if the baristas know. Oh my God. One eyebrow? I can't do that. It's not enough. Sorry. A beard, okay. An eyebrow? That's just... A beard is like normal. An eyebrow is not normal. For an eyebrow, you need more than that. You're going to have to come up with some more cash. And, you know, all of the cash that is raised goes towards the next trips or the upcoming trips. They don't go, or they help, you know, pay for the coffee shops and the... I'll give you that, but, you know, we all got to eat. We all got to nut. Forget the, what? When's the next Happy Street coconut water? Oh, God. I just went like, what, 2 weeks ago? And, you know, how can I say this politely? Yeah, exactly. This is like a 5th grade level. This is a 5th grade level channel. The coconut water left something to be desired, if you know what I mean. It left a lot to be desired. Although for Monash, it could have been quite appropriate. It could have been, you know, he may have thought that it was wonderful. You know. But for me, I'm like, I like the owl better than anything else, and I haven't seen the owl. No, it hasn't been there, because I've walked across the street a couple times. You know, sometimes, like today, I got to get some stuff from the grocery, and then I'm going to walk across and get a little meal. But that's not for another hour. I got to get another meal. Maybe I'll bring it home some kind of Thai food or whatever. I do still eat Thai food here. And actually, my wife was talking about, do you think that the people that watch your channel would like you to have me cook some food and show how it's done and everything? I said, I don't know, that might be a little too serious for them. I don't know if they can handle that, because they all just get their wives, or they find some chick, or they find some coconut girl or some fried rice girl to do everything for them. But now I got her thinking about you guys. She's always trying to, you know, she's a giver. She tries to be helpful. That's my wife. Never the helper. Unless you steal her peanut butter. Unless you take some of her peanut butter without asking. Well, Gennaro, you did actually see her cook a few weeks ago. Cooking some, I don't know, what was it, an omelet or something with Steve. But, you know, I know there are some people that would prefer to see her cook than me talk sitting at Starbucks or some coffee shop or walking around or even kayaking. There are people that would much rather hear her voice and see her than me. That's the whole, you know, I told her the whole problem with my channel is me. That's the whole problem. It's me. I get it. No one wants to look at me. If I had the choice of looking at some chick, well, I'm not saying her, but like, if a guy has a choice of looking at a channel with an interesting woman, even semi-attractive, or some freaking bearded old guy, I think for most guys it's an easy choice. Now, did you see the one where the little clip I put up many years ago of her shooting, playing basketball with me? Oh my God, that was funny. I wish I would have got more footage of that, but it was funny. It was a funny little clip. She does like to cook, I'll tell you that. She's a good cook. You know, she cooked for my father. My father was like, what's not to like? She's got it all. You know, she looks good, she speaks well, she cooks well, she's a good mother. What, you know, you got no reason to be unhappy. Yeah, she can eat some spicy food, man. And you know, just the other day she gets tofu now. She's not into eating a lot of meat. She's every once in a while she gets on this kick where she doesn't want to eat beef, or she doesn't eat a lot of beef, but she doesn't want to eat pork. She doesn't want to eat chicken. Maybe she'll have a little bit of shrimp or some fish once in a while, but she's just not into that. And so she was cooking up some curried vegetables with some tofu in it. And I'm like, you know that spicy food, you're going to be paying for it later. She's like, I don't care. It gives me power. That's her big thing, you know. The spicy curry gives me power. And there's the sweet and sour, and then there's the sour fish curry, and I don't particularly like that. Question to the room, has anyone had the PCR test, and what's it like getting the probe stuck into your brain? Well, almost. Yeah, I haven't been tested, and I refuse to be tested. If they want to do the antigen thing, that's a different story. But actually, Chuck told me that when he got his last test, they didn't even put it in. Don't get crude on that, but they didn't put the thing into his nose. He's like, they just went around the outer edge of the nurse went around the outer edge of his nose. He was like, I was really surprised. So, you know, maybe I don't know why that would be. But he was like, I was so happy she didn't jam it into my nose. I'm like, Chuck, if you want, I'm sure we can arrange some kind of an anal swab. But two within 10 hours, that sucks. Yeah, that does suck. But hey, you're the one, you're the avid adventurer traveler. Have no fear. The anal swab is here. I couldn't resist. Have no fear. The anal swab is here. I gotta do a commercial about that. Are you worried about the validity of the antigen test, the rapid antigen test? Do you question whether you'll get a false positive or not? Do you prefer not to have a cotton swab jammed up your nostril? Well, hey, have no fear, the anal swab is here. Oh, man. I could feel it behind my eyeballs. Yeah, I haven't had one yet, and I don't want one. And I don't want to travel if I gotta get one. I'm a little bit concerned about going to Phuket. I'm not concerned about Pattaya, but I am concerned about Phuket because I'm like, I wonder if I just land. They go, oh, you're a foreigner. We're gonna have to jam this thing in your nose. I'm gonna be like, no, you don't. Well, you can't come into Phuket. Why not? I've already, got the booster. I'm good to go, man. I'm not a tourist. Yes, but you're just entering Phuket for the first time. We require that for everyone. Everyone has to be tested. Now, fuck you. I'm flying back now. They don't need to test me. Excuse my language. There goes my channel again. It's gone to shit. All because of my foul language. We had pho with pork and prawns for lunch at Maggie Ma's Vietnamese restaurant. Delicious. I think that what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to go to what the hell's the name of that place? The noodle place. It's right next to the Japanese restaurant. Go to the noodle place for lunch today. I might have to do that. What that Hanji ramen? That's what it's called. I loves me some Vietnamese food too. One of my favorite types of one of my favorite cuisines. I loves me some Vietnamese food. Loves me some Thai food. Not so much with the Chinese. Loves me some Italian food. I think Italian is number one for me. Mexican, I like that too, which is what Chucky and I had yesterday for breakfast at La Mesa. We had some excellent Mexican food, or New Mexican food. It was very good. That food was good, man. All their food was very, very good. It almost, the coffee was quite good, but I was going to say, the food was so good, and that cheesecake was so good that it almost overshadowed the coffee, if that's possible. I mean, the coffee was very good, don't get me wrong, but, I loves me a nice pad thai, too, and I can go right across the street and get a pad thai for, I sent a picture of some, it was $1.75 US. I sent a picture to my buddy because he pays about $12 in America for it. So I got to rub it in his face a little bit. Now, I may, I don't know if I can swing it or not, but I may actually do a stream from the new coffee shop near my house. I don't know when, but it depends on the setup, because I don't want to be giving away my my details, you know. Not that it really matters. But anyway, wow, we're at like 3 hours already. I gotta stop doing these 3-hour streams. We gotta stick to 45 minutes, guys. We get a lot done in 45 minutes. I don't know how much we got done today. I don't have Wheaties for breakfast. Never. I never have. The last thing that I had that reminded me of America was Cocoa Pebbles. I haven't had Lucky Charms. I had some Tricks, and I had some Wheat Checks, which I like Wheat Checks if you get the stuff with no sugar on them. Wheaties, it's been many, many years. And I just can't look at Wheaties the same way after Bruce Jenner kind of became a woman. I can't look at Wheaties the same now that Bruce has become Caitlyn. I don't know. I mean, you know, like, hey, good for him. I say a salud to him becoming Caitlyn, if that's really what he wants. But it does make me think differently about eating Wheaties. That he used to be on the Wheaties box as the greatest athlete on the planet at the time. I have a hard time thinking about that now. Oh, I've had some frosted flakes, and I have had some Captain Crunch, although I have not seen Captain Crunch in quite some time. Frosted Flakes is easy to find, and it's very good, but of course it's got lots of sugar in it. Now the only cereal that I eat really is the muesli, and like, to me it's like, oh, I can get some raisins out of it. All right, that's good. Sweetens up the meal, you know, and Alex likes that. I don't know. Listen, I was buying Alex oatmeal all the time, and he had an oatmeal and he would mix it with some fruit, but they stopped having the kind of oatmeal that he really liked, and I had bought this other stuff, and it's just been sitting there, and now he doesn't want to eat it. I don't know why. He's changed his preference. Now it's muesli. He likes his muesli, and he'll put fruit in that. You know, it's got a little bit of fruit in it. You know, you get sick of eating the same food all the time. So I'll have to go get some Thai lunch today, and I don't think I'll go eat the noodles. I'll save that for another time. But I'll have to take some photos and put them up in the community tab of whatever I eat today. I don't usually do that now. I've kind of shied away from, every meal I've got to take a photo of it. I don't really feel like that, but maybe I should. I don't know. Joke, yeah. I like the joke. I really like it a lot. But the problem for me is that I also like that patongo, which is the fried bread that they put along with it. I'm trying to stay away from that kind of stuff. So, you know. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to call it quits. We're almost at 3 hours. I don't want it to go to 4 hours. I haven't had a 4-hour stream in a long time, and you know what? That's a good thing. So thank you very much for everything. Thank you for watching. Again, leave a thumbs up, subscribe. You know, I got to do that. I don't particularly like it, but, you know, if I don't say anything, I get less thumbs up. And I don't know that it really matters. It supposedly matters to the algorithm. If I don't say anything, I don't get new subscriptions. And if I don't say anything, people don't look at the description, and I never get any money, and I never get anybody buying shirts and books. So you got to say that kind of stuff. It's the whole business aspect of it, which I really hate, to be honest. I don't like the, you know, lock on. Choke D, Jerkan. Thank you to all the Aussies and the few Americans that joined in today. And to all the new people watching, feel free to jump in. As long as you're not a complete douche or say something completely stupid. And I mean, I'm not talking about on the border of being stupid. I'm talking about you just say something stupid. Nobody's going to give you any shit in here. So feel free to leave a comment, to join in the chat. You're more than welcome. Until next time, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Choke D, Leo, Jerkan Mai, which is good luck and see you later. Yes, adios, adios, bye, and bye. Okay, bye, girls. Bye, baristas. Until next time. There we go. Hottie alert.